Hello everyone, it's your boy Angelo back with another episode of Horizon Zero Dawn. So today we are finally going to help out Aaron. I was going to do that initially last episode, but I saw that Olin's quest was just nearby, so I decided to go do that. And now that we're done, now that we've settled our affairs with Olin, we could focus back with Aaron, because I felt bad the way Aloy was treating him a bit, considering he's the reason why we're allowed to enter and exit the City of the Sun as we please. Plus, he also led us into Olin's house, which is where we got the clues on how to locate Olin in the first place, you know? So it's like he did, I was going to say a lot for us. He only really did two things for us, but those two things were very impactful in helping Aloy close a chapter in her life. We met with Olin, we decided his fate, and you know what? We should thank Aaron, and the least we can do is help him by tracking down the killers of his sister. And my cat is now going to step on my keyboard, and he's gonna mess things up for me. Oh my god. Anyways, let's just get on with the episode. Hold on, I think he wants to get on my lap. Okay. This is so uncomfortable. And nope. He wants to go on top of my desk. Oh, I see him.
It's Aaron, and he's in trouble.
Keep your defenses up! Give it everything you got.
Aaron, you might want to keep your distance while something's about to explode.
Thanks for the help.
No problem.
Come on over here and have a word.
Hold on, let me just loot these machines, because I'm not exactly rich, and I can use all the metal shards I can get my hands on.
Come on, what are you waiting for?
Okay.
What are you doing out here all alone? Where are your men?
I'm not gonna risk their lives. I don't mind putting my worthless ass on the line, but not theirs. Sorry I had to drag you into it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. This is just an average day for me. You know, take down some machines, track some killers.
Right. I'd hate to see a busy morning for you. Ready to get started?
This is like a Tuesday morning for Aloy, considering the things she's accomplished so far, and we're barely like wetting ourselves. That came out so wrong. The analogy I was going to use is, you know how when you want to get into a pool, typically people will dip their toe in first just to check the temperature before they prepare to dive head first into the game. You know, you're just wetting yourself. You're just getting a small taste of what's to come. That's what I meant to say, but I had a brain fart, and it just ended up me saying we're just wetting ourselves. Anyways, Aaron should have a little more self-confidence. I am the king of self-deprecation jokes, but he should definitely have a bit more self-confidence. He can handle himself in a fight. He's not completely worthless.
Are you sure you're all right?
Well, I'm sober, so no.
Well, I'm glad you're thinking straight at least.
Don't get used to it.
Tell me exactly what happened to Ursa. Start from the beginning.
No one knows for sure. She left in the middle of the night with a few of her best men.
Her best men? But she didn't bring you?
No. I'd been drinking a lot. Maybe she thought... damn, I don't know. I couldn't hack it. Search parties found their bodies the next day, and the corpses of some Shadow Karja cowards. It was an ambush. The Shadow Karja are animals. They beat her so bad we can't even show her face before burial.
Damn.
I'm so sorry, Aaron.
Yeah, well, when I find the soldiers who did this, they'll be sorry too.
Okay, I'm definitely glad I came to help out Aaron, because he definitely needs some justice, even if it's just street justice.
You don't have any idea why she left in the middle of the night?
No. But it must have been urgent. A message, a report of some new Shadow Karja threat, I don't know.
Why would the Shadow Karja do this?
Because they hate us. And Ursa most of all. She teamed up with Avad to kick their asses out of Meridian. They've been licking their wounds for 2 years, but they finally found a way to get back at her.
I was gonna see where the Shadow Karja like base of operations is located, because this is Karja lands. Didn't the Shadow Karja leave so they have like their own base of operations elsewhere? Is it towards this location?
All right. Show me where Ursa fell, and I'll do what I can to help.
Come on, follow me.
Because the City of the Sun is right here. Oh, right. So I guess this is more like Karja land. And I guess the Shadow Karja cultists came up this way. And Ursa was lured out here. She was lured into an ambush in the middle of the night. That means something very urgent must have gotten her attention. My guess is probably she heard that some named individual of importance was roaming over here and she wanted to strike him down for good. Like a general or something, someone's right-hand man. I highly doubt. Would it be Helis?
Why would Ursa come all the way out here?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Well, if she heard that Helis was out here, maybe she would come out here with...
Is this Shadow Karja territory?
No. They broke the ceasefire as soon as they set foot in the cleft.
Wait, this is not their territory. And they broke a ceasefire the moment they entered this territory. Oh, you guys have a ceasefire with the Shadow Karja? That's interesting. I thought it was on site between you two, but you guys managed to hold off for a bit. But then they entered Sun Karja territory. Maybe Helis drew her out. I know that Aloy would definitely come out here for Helis.
All right, this is it. Where the ambush happened. Our soldiers have been over it, but maybe that fancy artifact of yours can find a clue or something. Please.
Well, I see the blood stains.
These look like drag marks. Arrows scattered there. Those bloodstains are not the kind that would pull around a corpse. A Shadow Karja spear. It must be Shadow Karja armor. Strange. Not a scratch on it. It's perfectly sharp. Never seen action.
So, weapon and armor that have never seen action before is just lying down here.
They look like smears.
Smears? Like someone smeared the blood on the ground? Is that what you're trying to say?
They look good as new. Never fired.
Oh, she's talking about the arrows.
Did someone move a body through here?
What do you see there?
This stain forms a line, as if blood dripped off the edge of something, like a cart. See? Cart tracks. I think someone moved the bodies here, then scattered them across the field.
Wait. Are you saying the dead found here were killed somewhere else? But why would the Shadow Karja do that?
At this point, I'm not taking it for granted that the Shadow Karja are responsible.
Of course they were.
Well, let's follow these tracks and find out.
But if not the Shadow Karja, then who? Okay, so she's saying that this was staged because we have weapon, armor, equipment in general that have never seen combat a day in their lives, just strewn about here. She said the same thing about the arrows. I guess that makes sense about the blood smear stand. Somebody was just painting blood down here to make it seem like Ursa was ambushed by the Shadow Karja. Because if the Shadow Karja did this, I don't think they'd leave their equipment behind, leave evidence that traces back to them. Or maybe they would. They're crazy cultists. I don't know how they think. But the fact that she said the equipment has not been used, and it seems possible that the bodies were planted here from a cart, maybe it wasn't the Shadow Karja then. Oh. You can see the cart trails on the ground. You don't exactly need a focus to follow the cart trails. Unless the Karja that came out over here to investigate the stuff, or the what is your tribe name? The Asuram? Unless the ones that came to investigate the crime, they saw the cart trail, but I guess they didn't put two and two together, because this is a road. So they probably just thought it was just some random cart from some random merchant that was traveling by, and they didn't put the connection that the cart and the blood are connected. But you see the blood stains on the floor too. I don't know if the game, like the developers purposefully did this to highlight it easier for gamers to follow the track, or if it's really like this in their world. In which case they are incompetent, cuz you can follow the trail of not just the cartwheels, but the blood that is dripping by without the use of a focus.
I get why they wanted Ursa dead. But why fake an ambush?
There's more to this, and we're gonna figure it out.
Also, it sounds like my music is again being buggy. It sounds like it just cuts off and then it just randomly starts again and then abruptly cuts off.
Got too much already.
Yoink. Oh, wait, what? No! Okay, hold on. I do have the shard, what did it call it? Scout salvager? Whatever the thing is for this purpose. Okay, let me make some space here in my bags. I don't need the fast travel packs anymore. There he goes. You hear that? The music just stopped again. I don't like this. Like, the game is good. It just has its kinks that it needs to be ironed out.
These guys aren't Shadow Karja. They're from my tribe, the Asuram.
What?
Is this how your people usually greet each other?
Come on, gents, let's get her!
What? Whoa!
Down! Don't lose your wits, or anything else!
Got it.
It's a bloody.
Oh, I missed.
Keep... Uh-oh. What's that?
What's what?
I think it's calling in machines. Get ready.
Emitting unidentified single frequency signal? Is that what is emitting? Oh, fuck. One of these. A Ravager! Two of them! What the fuck? they can break rock? Fuck. Oh, the other one's got my attention. Fuck, really? I hate this. I hate this so much.
Asaram, not Shadow Karja. Looks like I was wrong about everything, as usual. Please, use that second sight of yours. I have to know what really happened.
I'm on it.
So the Oseram are behind this? Is there a civil war happening in your tribe, Erend? Did you guys make any enemies amongst your people? I guess if he knew the answer to that, he wouldn't need me. Let me just get the stuff. Okay, now we can do this.
So much blood. What are those leather straps? Those rocks. They're shattered. These look like Vanguard weapons. Looks like you could mount some equipment on that thing. A lot of people died here. A massacre. There's no blood on them. Ursa's men didn't fight back. Armor straps, cut with a knife, and a rock with blood on it. Something hit these stones. Something I've never seen before. There, by the tripod. A used power cell.
This is Ursa's helmet. I thought she died in the field below, but it must have been here. All this trickery. For what? Feels like it's just to torture me.
I have a theory, but it takes a little imagination.
So far, your theories are better than other people's facts.
All right. I think the Oseram ambushed Ursa and her men with a new weapon. They mounted it on that tripod up there. It fires waves of force, maybe sound. Looks like it cracked the stone there. I think it paralyzes people instead of killing them. It dropped the Vanguard right there. No blood on their weapons. No fight.
But why paralyze them if you're only gonna move them and gut them?
They were trying to hide something. Look here, a bloody rock.
That they used to smash Ursa's face in.
Or someone else's. These leather straps have been cut, as if they took the armor off someone.
That can't be. Her body is lying in state in Meridian. I saw it.
You said she was unrecognizable. Maybe they switched another body into her armor, someone around the same size, and mutilated it enough so it could have been anyone. Even Ursa. Go back to Meridian. Take another look at that body. If it's really Ursa, Of course I'm wrong. But if I'm right,
Then my sister could be alive. I'm going. Meet me back there when you can.
Well, that got him happy at the thought that his sister might actually be alive. I don't know how right we are. It seems like Aloy knows what she's talking about. I just kind of don't want to give him false hope either. How did she deduce that? Okay, so there was the tripod right there with a power cell. Okay, easy enough to surmise that there could have been a weapon there. And considering where it's positioned, it's overlooking into here. So I guess you can assume, since the weapons that Ursa and her men were carrying were not used, that they had to have been taken by surprise. But since there's also not too much blood to indicate that there was a slaughter, or I guess there is a bit of blood, she deduced that they were paralyzed instead because of the shattered rocks. That I don't think I would have ever put two and two together. I would just assume that the rocks were shattered by just natural conditions, the weather. But from that, I guess she assumed that it must have been a sound-based attack. Would Aloy even be educated enough to know that sound, has like waves that travel and they can, with enough force, push people backwards? I guess the focus will really tell her a lot. Okay, so this does make sense then, that the Asuram are responsible. Why? That we don't know, but it makes sense that they are trying to trick people into thinking that the Shadow Carja were behind this. They staged the crime scene to make it look like they were ambushed by the cult to divert attention onto them and not the Asuram. But why? And they kept Ursa alive, probably. I guess she might have been the intended target all this time. Maybe they're trying to persuade her to join their side. But I don't know why. Ooh, there are stuff nearby. I'll worry about that later. Let's just head over here and continue the quest. The Liberation. An official account ascribed by the Reckoners of the Sun Priests and marked with the emblems of truth by exacting Varan, who witnessed these events. In the 21st year of the 13th Sun King Jiran's reign, the twilight time of his madness, the Sun King's own favored heir was put to death. Heir as in his son, right? Because that's typically who's the next in line to rule. We know that his son, I guess a different son, is the one who kills Jiran, and he takes over as the new Sun King. So that's the new 14th Sun King have a brother, and then he got put to death? The Radiant Kataman's crime was to demand an end to his father's acts of bloodshed, and his sacrifice set that end in motion. So he dared question his father's rule by saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't be sacrificing people to the sun. I don't think the sun demands such bloodshed, and for that he got put to death himself. Jiran's second heir, the Radiant Avad, fled Meridian at dusk with his honor guard, soldiers loyal to him over the Sun King. All night they traveled northwards, knowing that come the dawn they would be branded as traitors and marked for death. So it was that when Jiran made that proclamation, they had already traveled far, and in time they did reach the edge of the Sundom and cross into Asuram territory. For Avad was canny and planned to negotiate terms with the Asuram. He knew he had an ally among them, Ursa, a fierce Asuram warrior with whom Avad had a long and unusual history. 2 years earlier, Ursa had been brought to Meridian as a captive, destined for sacrifice. But she survived the Sun Ring, killing 2 Kestrels by her own hand. Thus did she earn the honor of being made a palace slave. And in this role, came to know Prince Avad. A rare friendship was formed, and Avad conspired to free his friend, who returned at once to the Asuram homeland. Now desperate for allies, Avad sought out the Asuram he had helped to free. Ursa had ties to the warlords and freebooters who resisted the Red Raids. With Ursa's might and Avad's keen strategy, they could raise a warband and move to overthrow Jiran. And as a rightful heir to the throne of the Sun, Avad hoped to inspire many of his people to rebel, so sparing Meridian from a drawn-out war. After months of preparation, Avad and his allies crossed the border and marched on Meridian. As word of their advance spread, many Carja's soldiers fled back to the city, laid down their arms, or even joined the liberators. Yet wise Avad knew that Jiran's faithful would defend Meridian to the last man, even sacrificing the lives of its citizens if it would hold this holy city against siege. He found Kestrels and city guard already set in on the walls, ready to face arrow and shot, but Avad's Asuram allies had brought new weapons never seen beneath the sun, thundering cannons strong as machines. Avad permitted them to fire their salvos on the outer walls, bringing many defenders down with great carnage. As the smoke cleared, the liberators attacked in 3 groups. One scaled the walls beneath the Temple of the Sun. Another took the aqueducts of the palace, while the main force overcame the barricaded city gates with cannon fire. These were the final blasts fired at the holy city, as Avad forbade any further destruction. In the streets, too many scenes of brutality and chaos played out to recount. Among the terrible miasma of blood and smoke, the Sun Ring's slave pits were opened and hundreds spilled out, desperate to escape. Many of Jiran's supporters seized their chance to flee with this flood of unfortunates. The day had turned, and seeing his forces much reduced, the Sun King Jiran ordered his trusted Kestrels take Itamen, his sole remaining heir, from the city. Helis, terror of the sun, cleaved a path through Meridian from east to west, striking down all in his way, ally and foe alike. The savagery of Helis and his Kestrels could not be matched. And so it was that Itamen, his mother, the Dowager Queen Nasadi, and the High Sun Priest Bahavas escaped. Avad confronted Jiran in his solarium. He had hoped his father would answer for his crimes honorably, but seeing this could not be so, with great anguish he struck him down. As the murder of a true Sun King is an unthinkable act and surely would plunge the world into shadow, Jiran's death proved that the Sun had renounced his legitimacy. Yes, Sun had turned to shadow on the throne of Meridian, and it was Avad's light that drove the shadow out to the west, where it remains to this day. So was the cycle of things corrected in the first year of the reign of the 14th Sun King, the Radiant Avad. Okay, that was a lot of information to process. I think I understood most of it. So yes, the 13th Sun King had another heir, and when his heir decided to question the king's methods, demanding an end to this bloodshed, he's like, all right, we're gonna put you to death. So then it was Avad who was next in line, and fearing that he would share his brother's fate, decided to leave, and he went to go to the Asuram and to Ursa for help, considering they had an unusual friendship. Usually when people say that in recounting of events like this, it usually means that there was something more between the two. You know, like when they say that those two men, oh, come on, they were the best of friends, roommates, some might even say. You know, history is going to remember them as roommates, but in reality, you know that there was a little more between the two. And it might be the same way here, where they had an unusual friendship, aka they probably were in love, but they couldn't really show it. Regardless, he went to her to get help. Then they went back. They attacked the city with his new allies. There's another heir, Itamin. I've heard his name already from one of the NPCs as I was actually running to the next quest objective. I heard somebody say that I'm pretty sure they wanted Avad to kill Itamin to, I guess, solidify his power. That way no one can claim illegitimacy to the throne or something. But I'm pretty sure they wanted Avad to kill his own brother, as he did with his own dad. But the thing is, he killed his dad to stop his madness, or so they say. But anyways, this really this really made me think, oh my god, these people are so egotistical. The fact that murdering a Sun King is such a blasphemous, unthinkable act that it is going to plunge the entire world in darkness. Not just Meridian, not just their holy land, no, the entire world is going to be plunged into darkness because, of course, they believe that their faith is the one true faith. So since the sun touches light all across the world, it means that everyone, even if they don't think so, are blessed by does their sun god have an actual name? I don't remember. But I guess they think that everyone is blessed by their sun god. So even if they don't know it, even if they worship other deities themselves, it's the sun god that allows them, through his compassion, to worship other entities. I don't know, but they're so damn egotistical. Excuse me. Can I get through? Can a sister get through, please? Oh, there's another thing to read. The Mad Sun King. Be warned, reader, that as a true account of the Mad Sun King Jiran's acts, these glyphs are blotted in blood. Truly, the savageries committed can barely be recounted, so pray to the cleansing sun for yourself and for the teller of these tales. Already sensationalizing this story, aren't we? You will learn of the grievous wounds inflicted on foreign lands in the reaping of sacrifice, the Red Raids, where the Mad Sun King would order a whole generation cut from each village so they might more willingly supply sacrifices and be harder pressed to field fighting men on the next raid. The Utaru, who sought to appease with gifts of grain, were slaughtered in such number that upon the following harvest, the maize grew black and blue with the blood of the dead. I don't think that's actually physically possible. I feel like this is just an exaggeration to draw up more interest in this story, to spice it up a little bit and not make it a boring just retelling of actual events. Against the Asuram, the terror of the sun, Keyless, piled the corpses of their fallen up to the walls of their villages so his kestrels might clamber upon the dead to enter. Yeah, see, he killed so many people he was able to make them into a mound so that they could use as a stepladder to get over the walls. And in the valley of the barbarian Nora, terrors of the savage east, such savagery ensued that the trees were drooped with corpses hung as grim warnings. Okay, but who was hanging the warnings? Because I could totally see the Nora doing this. They fought back against the invaders, and every time they killed a Karja, they used their body as a warning for the next fools who wanted to invade. Should you wish to read of the Mad King's depredations against his own people, your curiosity will not go unsated. Within our accounts of the death of those sentenced to the Sun Ring, listed in such detail, you might think it reported by their own chattering skulls, once piled outside the city gates. Nor will you find a more harrowing account of his massacre of the Hunter's Lodge. Reading these accounts, you might imagine yourself among its brave hawks as they fought to the last, bloodying the sand from dusk till dawn, or perhaps in the crowds as the loosed behemoths careened through the stands with the crashing of wood and bone. All this crazed bloodletting did the Mad Sun King take in his pitiless gaze. Indeed, he would not even look away from the goring of his own son in that ring of death. Yes, fair-haired Kataman of the Dawn's Rising, so degraded and doomed for the crime of standing against his father. Such a true and complete account of the Mad Sun King Gerard's miseries cannot be found in the history annals or heard from the reckoners of the Sun Priest. It is with a heavy heart that I scribe these events, leaving out no shocking detail, but my debt is to history and to you, brave reader, with a little sprinkle of sensationalism to make sure that this is a story to tell for years to come, right? This is how true stories become fables. After people just retell the same story over and over, but with a bit of an exaggeration each time. So, Kataman, the first heir to the throne, was killed in the Sun Ring? Is that what they said? Yes. The goring of his own son in that ring of death. And even the Hunter's Lodge were massacred. We have a quest to go there. This retelling of events definitely puts into perspective of how crazy the Mad Sun King is. You can definitely see why so many tribes seemingly hate the Karja. And Avad has a big undertaking if he wants to bring peace between his peoples and the rest. Blameless Murad? What kind of name is that?
Greetings, Aloy. I am known as Blameless Murad. Please come with me. You're needed for an important consultation.
What do you mean? Where's Erend?
He's inside, attending the Sun King, where we should be without further delay. Follow me, please.
Okay. Whoa.
All of these people are here to see the Sun King.
Yes, and each has come to ask a favor of him. Unpleasant, but that's politics. The Sun King is eager to meet you, the machine tamer with a curious eye for detail. It's all very intriguing.
I'm not here to intrigue you.
Too late.
Passed by some outlander woman? Unacceptable.
They're all jealous that I'm skipping the line.
I've been here for 2
Hell yeah, I get special treatment. Get used to it. This is the second time.
Ignore them. Nobles are like children who whine when they don't get a second helping of dessert.
That's true. Wisely put.
What's the Sun King like?
The most important thing is what he isn't like. His father. I think you'll find him to be a reasonable man.
And that is a good answer.
Aloy of the Nora. She who sees the unseen. Welcome. It would seem you have done me a great service. Erend, tell her what you found.
I checked Ursa's tomb. You were right, Aloy. The body is missing a scar below her right knee. I gave it to Ursa when we were kids, fighting over a toy sword.
If the body is not Ursa's, then we must assume she is still alive. And I will not abandon her.
We only know she was taken, not who took her.
I can help with that. Ursa has an enemy among the Oseram. A warlord named Derval.
Impossible. Every clan in the claim has been hunting for him since the liberation. He has to be dead by now.
No other Oseram had the motive and ingenuity to lure Ursa into this trap. I expect to find him lurking somewhere near the border. I've already sent an agent to investigate. He'll be waiting for word from us at the marketplace in Pitchcliff.
I can't move troops to the border without provoking the Oseram. But I could send a few vanguardsmen. And perhaps an exceptionally gifted Nora as well.
Of course.
Erend, Murad, let me discuss it with her privately. I hate to impose further after all you've done, but this is a matter of great importance to me.
So you and Ursa had an unusual friendship, huh?
It sounds like Ursa means a lot to you.
Without her Asuram vanguard, I would not have been able to liberate Meridian and end my father's brutal reign. Since then, it has been difficult to maintain peace between our tribes. But Ursa has a way of making her people see reason. So you see, I need her back at my side. And quickly.
Is that all? It's not 'cause there's some romantic feelings between you two? I know, it's none of my business. It's not my concern. I'll just admit it. I'm a bit nosy at times. I think all of us can be.
Who is Dervahl exactly?
To understand Dervahl, you must first understand my father. He truly thought of himself as a sun god. His mind was broken. He believed that blood sacrifice would solve, well, everything. So he raided the other tribes for victims, especially the Asuram. Dervahl fought back. He crafted powerful weapons and rallied his people. My father responded with the ultimate cruelty. He captured Dervahl's wife and daughter and sacrificed them in the Sun Ring.
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? So we just read up on all this history. We know that the Sun King was indeed a mad king. I guess he actually thought he was like the personification of the sun god, the embodiment of his holy light made into human form. He was crazy enough to sacrifice his own son for wanting no more bloodshed, but he went so far as to kill off a mother and child because he hated the man who rebelled against him. Like, I get wanting... I really shouldn't be surprised. Like, wanting Dervahl dead is one thing, doing what he did to his family is another, but I guess I would see why a mad person would want to wipe out someone and their entire bloodline. It's just...
So, why would Dervahl go to so much trouble to kidnap Ursa?
He felt she betrayed him. She fought by his side until she realized he planned to raise Meridian and butcher its people. Then she came to me. Together, we stopped him and liberated the city from my father. Dervahl has spent every moment since trying to get revenge. Mostly on the other Asuram who fought with us. He made so many powerful enemies, I thought we'd seen the last of him. I was wrong.
Rule number 1. Never assume someone is dead until you can actually confirm that he's dead. Just because he's made so many enemies doesn't guarantee that he's already 6 feet below. So always assume that they are alive and wanting revenge.
I'd like to ask you something about the Sundom and its politics.
By all means.
They call you a sun god who killed his own father in order to unite the tribes in harmony. Is any of it true?
They say you can see the invisible, split an arrow at 50 paces, and tame machines at a glance.
Well,
how much of that is true?
Most of it.
It's not too far off.
Well, I would like to unite the tribes in harmony, but you saw how many courtiers I have to deal with first. Maybe next week.
Politics is very bureaucratic. I think that's the word. Where it's a lot of talk, a lot of paperwork, a lot of hopefully next week we can get this done, maybe next month, maybe next year. We're working on it, and it seemingly goes nowhere. I do not want to be in politics. I would be terrible. I have no patience for it. But I thought that was funny where he was trying to turn around the exaggerated rumors that he's heard about us. And it's like, well, they're not too far off. I don't know about splitting an arrow at 50 paces. I don't know if Aloy is actually capable of doing that. I definitely am not. but we can see the invisible more or less, and we can tame machines. We ride them all the time.
Quite a place you've got here. You can almost see the little people below the mesa.
Ouch.
You don't approve? Well, I have a secret for you. Neither do I. But we must be patient. Change won't come in a single sunrise.
But will it happen at all, while men live in palaces?
It might. Eventually. If people like you help me bring it about.
Okay, Aloy, you need to remember that you're also a guest here. You don't want to disrespect the leader, the ruler, the king himself. He seems like a very nice, genuine man. Like, I do believe him that he didn't strike down his father for the sake of power, rather to stop his madness. He does seem to be genuine in that regard. Plus the way he talks, I guess it's the soft-spokenness that gives him a bit more credibility when it comes to him trying to portray himself as this nice, peaceful ruler. There's been no indication so far that this guy is a bad person. At the end of the day, he is still a ruler. He's not going to make decisions that please everyone, but it does seem that he's trying. I mean, we kind of got a first indication of that with the peace envoys from the Proving, that he's sending them to all the other tribes to read from a declaration from the king himself that we're changing our ways, we're trying to open our borders again, and we're trying to ally ourselves with people. However, he's still a king, which means his place is still up here, overlooking the peasantry from down below. Like, he's still adorned in these very luxurious looking clothing, and he still has a crown on his head and whatever that thing is behind his back. However, he's also saying that he doesn't exactly enjoy all of this. He wasn't even supposed to be the original heir to the throne. That was his brother Kadamin. He was kind of just thrust this upon him because he struck down his father. And with Edamin gone, there's like no contention to his ruling, and he made the king. Plus, Rome was not built in a single day. It's changing an entire kingdom, the way it's structured, the traditions, the stuff that they've been doing for many years. Like, it's not easy to just change everything overnight and not have people complain and get mad of what the hell's going on. You know, people do not like change. Once they get accustomed to something, they want it to stay that way because this brings them comfort. Even if it's not a perfect system, it's the system that they grew up with, and that's what they want it to stay as, you know.
Your politics seem very complicated. The Asuram are friends, but enemies too?
I couldn't have liberated Meridian without the help of Ursa and her Asuram freebooters. Many of them have settled here. But the Ealdormen of the Asuram clans in the Claim have become jealous of their success. So have many Karja nobles. It's a volatile situation, especially given the fact that my father raided the Asuram for years. Ursa helps keep the peace, promising a future based on mutual gain. But some, like Dervahl, will never let go of their venom.
Yeah, they're too stuck in their ways to ever change. I know a few people like that. I've kept my distance from that. I'm more of a progressive. I don't like everything that changes either. I find comfort in my nostalgia as well, at things that I grew up, found normal. But I also am open-minded to the possibility that some stuff needs to be changed.
What can you tell me about the Shadow Karja? What do they have to do with Ursa?
They are remnants of my father's regime, holding out at the fortress of Sunfall to the west. Like him, they care only for domination, and seek to draw upon the power of the sun by spilling blood in its name. Since Ursa helped me take this city from them, they were perfect scapegoats. Dervahl knew this, of course, and planned it well.
That's, yeah, perfect scapegoats. divert all the attention to the Shadow Karja because they are also enemies of the, what do they call it? The Sundom, because it's like kingdom, but it's also the sun, the Sundom. You know, you got to put sun in front of everything to show how much you love the sun and all its radiant, glorious lights. But yeah, the Shadow Karja are an enemy to the Sundom, and so they're the best scapegoats. Like nobody, like even Eren was like set that the Shadow Karja were after Ursa, and that they were the ones who did it. And even when we brought up the possibility that it might not even be the Shadow Karja, he's like, nah, it has to be them. So perfect scapegoats.
I need to get going.
I know. Well, they say kings should never beg. But please, help me find Ursa.
Do they say
Who
that?
says that?
And Murad, for one. Don't hesitate to ask him or Aaron if you have further questions.
Got it. Hey, me and Aloy are kindred spirits. I don't stand a chance with her. We already know that Eren and Varl are also interested in Aloy. Aloy is completely oblivious because she grew up with Ross as her only source of socializing. And so I don't think she would know what flirting is if it smacked her in the face. I don't stand a chance. But we're kindred spirits. We were thinking the exact same thing. Like, who ever said that kings shouldn't beg? I guess because it seems unseemly for a king to beg. That they have authority, they have power, so they demand stuff to be done for them. They don't ask for help. They don't beg for help. They order it. So I guess someone's out there says it, but I was like, yeah, who says kings shouldn't beg? Oh, there's another reading here too. Is it long? Ooh, yeah, it's a bit long. Okay, I guess this is gonna be the reading episode. Founding of Meridian. We are Karja. In us is the blood of those led by Aramen. From persecution and pursuit so long ago, out of the far savage east we came, guardians of a treasure greater than land or metal, the leaves of the old ones. Aramen found the leaves in a ruin, picked out by a beam of sunlight, and he recognized at once their importance. Within was etched the first teachings of how to observe the sun, to recognize its guidance, and to understand the place of man. From out of the leaves came the first glyphs, the first writings, so our knowledge could last longer than voices. But when our forefathers offered to share this gift, they were driven out by those they had once called tribesfolk. These ones feared to have the light of knowledge brought to bear on their ignorance, or were jealous of its power, and so began the long wandering of our people, trusting only that the sun would guide them and deliver them from the barbarian tribes. The path was hard, and marked by the stones of families who fell along the wayside, even Aramen's own. The persecution was unceasing, from those without purpose, only the desire to debase and destroy. But the faith of the Karja was rewarded with a distant vision, a tower like a solid ray of the sun holding on the horizon, flashing. Even as their enemies descended upon them, Aramen followed the flight of the Glinthawks, leading his people through looming canyons and teeming jungles. Again, they saw the tower, so close now it seemed, to reach the very sun itself, and they saw that the Glinthawks perched upon it. Beheld in the light of the sun, the tower, the spire, cast its long shadow upon a mesa across the verdant valley. Aramen knew he had found a haven for the tribe, as this was a place shunned by those without his faith, who cowered from the magnificence of the spire or the shining feathers of the Glinthawks. He named this place Meridian from a passage in the leaves, and the tribe settled in the protection of the Great Mesa. They found the site was blessed in every respect, carving their cliff houses from the bounteous resources, and in time from the red rock of the Mesa itself, crowning it the very first columns of the City of the Sun. Truly, the sun gave much to the descendants of our forefathers, granting Meridian great harvest and prosperity. and the bounds of the sundom for as far as is light touched. In time, seeing Meridian shielded us from the dark arrows and plots of our foes. Other foreigners brought trade and tribute. Holy Meridian! Without spire and sun, there would be no Meridian, but now and forevermore it stands as monument to both, and the glory of Araman and the founders is reflected anew in each Sun King of the Radiant line and the noble houses of the Sun Courts. So when they're talking about leaves from the old ones, I'm guessing they're talking about papers. They found like documents, and from there the alphabets, they gathered their own glyphs. They learned to write. I'm guessing that they're not writing in the alphabet we would understand in. They're writing in their own alphabets, their own created ones. They came up with their own writing style. How were they able to then decipher what the writing in those old papers even meant? How did they know that the papers were talking about the sun and how to seek it out for guidance and nourishment and whatnot? But I guess these are all questions that come into our own human civilization. Like, how did the first civilization ever start writing? Like, how did they come up with a writing system? Be like, okay, this means that, this means that, and when you put it together, this is what the sentence says out. Like, it's hard to imagine how humanity achieved such a wonder, but yet we did. And of course, language evolves. Maybe the glyphs of today don't match exactly the language from the old ones precisely, because it's been like, what, 800-900 years now? Surely language had to evolve. But what I also found interesting is they're talking about how they came across the spire. So that tower thing, it wasn't made by them. It already existed. So it has to be a monument from the before time. They just found it and decided to make Meridian. It also reminds me a little bit of like the Mexican folklore about how their capital city came into existence, because I think it had something to do with God told them to go in a direction, and when they see an eagle perched upon a cactus, I believe, that is where they were supposed to build their city. I don't know how much of that is true and how much of it is just a fairy tale, but that is a tale that a lot of Mexicans believe. And that's what kind of reminded me of this, because they saw the Glinthawks perch upon the spire and they were like, this is where we're going to build our city from. Or on.
What do you need, Aloy?
His voice is also very, very familiar to me.
I have to go.
Understood.
He sounds a lot like, what's his name? It's not Arthas. He's from World of Warcraft, though. I think it starts with an A. It has to start with an A. Prince. He's a king now, but he used to be Prince Anduin. I knew it started with an A. Prince Anduin. He sounds just like him.
You never surrendered. Even here, at the very end. I cannot do this, Father. I can't be the hero you were. I can't be the king you were.
Well, not exactly, but it's like close enough that I think they're the same voice actor. I'm gonna have to check after I'm done recording, but I'm pretty sure they share the same voice actor, which is hilarious because Anduin is a paladin. He's a wielder, a worshiper, a follower of the light. And we have Sun King Avad, whose whole society revolves around worshiping the sun. That is trippy though, that if that's true, we have a voice actor who plays two kings who wield the light. Well, Anduin actually wields the light like a weapon or a shield. Sun King Avad metaphorically wields the light. That is crazy. He does have that voice for like a peaceful ruler, because that's also him in World of Warcraft. He's supposed to be like the peaceful ruler. His dad was more hot-tempered. He wanted to destroy the Horde, and then he kind of changed his perspective on the Horde. But the fact remains that Anduin was supposed to be like the opposite of his father, much more open-minded and willing to learn and grow and mature instead of just destroy. So he has that voice for it. That's cool if it is the same voice actor. Okay, it's just telling me to go to Pitchcliff, but I have Blameless Maraude and Errand here. Oh, and there's another thing to read. Okay, let me just talk to these two if I can, and then I'll see if I have time to read.
So, I thought Ursa was dead, and I thought Dervahl was dead. Dead doesn't seem to mean what it used to. Or maybe I'm just an ass. Whatever. All I know is that it's time to find my sister and get some payback. I hope Murad's guy grabs us a lead.
Did Ursa ever tell you anything about Dervahl?
We were both under his command for a while. Sort of. Helped him recruit an army to take out the mad Sun King. But then he got real creepy with Ursa. Needless to say, she wasn't interested, but he wouldn't let it go. Not to mention the fact that we realized he wanted to murder every Karja, not just the bad ones. Long story short, he's a grazer-licking dungbag.
And he felt betrayed because Ursa did not want to do that, and in fact, she allied herself with Sun King Avad, or I guess before he was the Sun King, technically, but still, the heir to the Mad Sun King doesn't like that. But he got creepy with Ursa. Is he implying what I think he's implying? That, you know, he got a little too... He tried to get a bit more intimate, on intimate levels with Ursa. You know, because that would be a little weird that he moved on kind of quickly from the death of his family and then try to, seek comfort in Ursa. But Ursa wasn't feeling the same way. And she's like, nah. And Dervahl, already angry that she cozied up to Avad, went full red-pilled mode on her.
Avad seems committed to finding your sister.
Yeah, those two got along. And some people say they shacked up.
Oh, no.
I don't buy it. Seems a little skinny for her.
Really?
Oh, okay, some bad images are forming in my head. Let's just focus on finding her. And kicking Dervahl's ass.
Got it. I too have a sister, and you know what they say, ignorance is bliss. I don't need to know what she does in her private time with whomever she's close with. But hey, some women do like skinny men. Not every woman wants a large, muscular man. Some prefer them to be a little more thinner. There are guys who wear skinny jeans, and some women are into that. Surprisingly enough, I do not wear skinny jeans, but some women are into that. Maybe Ursa was that. Hey, they're polar opposites. Ursa was like a battle-hardened warrior, so she had to have had some muscle on her. Avad, he's always spent his time in the royal palace doing other things, so he's got a more slender body. Opposites attract. Maybe she was like the dom mom, and he... No, they played that role. He's a little more on the submissive side. She was more on the dominant side. Some men are into that as well. We don't know.
I'd better go.
Don't stand me up in Pitchcliff, okay? Ursa needs us.
Got it. How about you? Do you have anything to say to me?
Aloy, how can I be of service?
Blameless Maraude.
It's obvious that you're an advisor to the Sun King, but what is it you do exactly?
Whatever is needed, of course.
Of course.
Are you always so evasive?
It depends.
And he gave a very vague answer as well. So is that his shtick? He doesn't exactly say what we want to know. He just gives us enough information that he feels comfortable with, but he stays very vague so that we he could remain an enigma. Like, can we ask him why he's even named Blameless? Because I'm guessing that obviously that's a title, not an actual name.
You were right about Avad. He seems genuine.
He is the Sun King. I serve him the best I can. What else would you have me say?
Huh. Did you serve the last one as best you could, too?
Oh.
Well, I served him to his enemies. It was the best I could do for the Sundom.
What did you do?
Nothing I could be blamed for.
Oh my god. Okay, that was a good line right there. He lives up to the name. He also seems like the type of guy who chooses his words very carefully because he doesn't want anything going back to him. After all, he's blameless Murad. He doesn't want the blame to be traced back to him, so he chooses his words very carefully. He like answers in non-answers at times. Like he's like, you know, I serve him the best that I can. What else can I say? I mean, you could elaborate a little more. You could go into more details into what exactly it is that you do, but it seems like that's against his nature. He wants to be a shadow so that he could be a little more evasive, I guess. But I like this guy already.
Sounds to me like you're a spy.
There are many helpful voices in the Sundom and beyond. I like to think of myself as a good...
And so a spy, in other words. See, it's like that. If we ask him if he's a spy, he doesn't say yes or no. If he says no, he'd be lying. If he said yes, he would directly be revealing to us that he is indeed a spy, and maybe this could come back to bite him in the ass. So instead, what does he say? There are many voices. I just happen to be a good listener. He's saying he's a spy without saying that he's a spy. He's choosing his words very carefully. and the voice that they gave him, it like matches his personality perfectly. Blameless.
So why do they call you Blameless Murad?
Well, it depends on who you mean by they, and what they might wish to blame me
Oh
for.
my god. Oh my god.
Talking to you is tiring.
So they say.
And who is they? Can you tell me who they are? Who? You know what? He's not even gonna tell me.
What will I find at the border?
An outpost full of Asuram, most of whom want nothing to do with Dervahl. Still, he inspires great loyalty in those who fought with him against the last Sun King. He will not be caught alone. And don't forget, he is a master craftsman. Nothing delights him more than his dangerous toys.
Like that one weapon that shoots sound and paralyzes people. I'm going to assume that's going to come into play when we fight him.
What makes you so sure Dervahl did this to Ursa?
I don't care for sure or certain. I prefer likely or probably. How many Asuram are clever enough for this ruse? Capable of building the weapon you described? Who hate Ursa so? More than one? Not likely. Dervahl? Quite probably.
Even if people think he's dead?
That is surely another reason to be suspicious of certain words.
He's not wrong, and he would know all about that, right? Choosing your words carefully. He's like a master at wordplay.
I have to go.
Then you must.
You are very interesting. I wish I could talk to you more just to try to pick your brain, because even if you don't give me the answers I seek, I could probably decipher it from the way you talk. It's like the answers have to be hidden somewhere between the lines. That's who he is. He's not someone who you can read like a book. He's someone who you have to read in between the lines. He's that fine print at the bottom of all those commercials. I guess he really lives up to his spy role, because he's the type of person who even if you suspect him of wrongdoing, well, he's blameless for a reason, because no blame has ever been able to be attached to him just yet. Even when he was serving the 13th Sun King, he somehow managed to become like the right-hand man of the 14th Sun King. He's not loyal to the throne, he's loyal to the people. That's what he said. He's serving the Sundom the best he can. I guess you have nothing to worry about if he was your advisor, as long as you don't do anything stupid. Anyways, enough talk about the sun and the Sundom and the Sun Kings. We read so much today. I don't mind. I just know that there's a lot of people out there who would prefer more gameplay than talking, than yapping. And this is even more so if it's just reading about the lore. But considering I know nothing about the lore, it's good to get your bits of information this way. But yeah, I don't mind. And hey, we might reunite a king with his friend. I feel like there definitely was some substance to those rumors about Ursa and Avad shacking up. Look, some guys are into more fit, athletic, muscular women, and some women like their men to be a bit more on the petite side. I'm not saying I'm into a dommy mommy or a dom mom or how they call it. See, I don't even know what the proper term is because I am not into that whatsoever, okay? But maybe Avad is, and we can reunite them. Plus, obviously, it would be great for Eren to be reunited with his sister. But that's going to be for another day. I'm going to end the episode here, so if you guys are enjoying this, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, stay tuned for more, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.